Hello, magical people. How's it going out there? Welcome back to the As Above, So Below weekly news show that we have here on Beyond Mystic. My name is Meg Moonbeam, and I'm so happy to be here with my co-host, ASHALA. Hello, ASHALA. How are you?
Hello, Meg. I'm so delighted to be here and excited to see what is revealed in our sharing today.
Yeah, me too. I felt so invigorated, inspired, happy after our last show last week. And I felt like, even though for some of you that may not know, Ashal and I have just kind of met. When was it that, well, we haven't met in person yet, but we've been connected for
just a few months. Yeah, like April, I think.
Yeah. But I think I can speak for both of us when I say I think we feel naturally comfortable together and a kinship together. And I'm just really, again, looking forward to this show and our relationship developing as well. And we got lots of really great comments after the first show. So thank you, everyone, for the positive feedback. We really appreciate that. And let us know, if there's any kind of topics or anything that you guys would ever like us to focus on. We're going to be here every week on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So happy about it. And as always, before we get into the content for today's show, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channel. And the Rumble is popping over there, Ashala. There's 71,600 subscribers and growing.
Amazing.
Rumble is absolutely awesome. So grateful for that platform, and important to, support the platforms that support free speech at this time, big time. And you guys know that you can find Ashala over on the beyondmystic.consultations page, where you can book in with her for a psychic tarot card reading. And I just had a lovely client who sees Ashala once a month, and she was talking very highly of the readings that she has with you. And what's kind of coming up for you right now in the readings, Ashala? Are there any kind of themes or things weaving in and out throughout the readings you're doing lately?
Well, I just want to mention, Meg, that I also hear such lovely things about you when I'm doing readings for people. They say to me, I just had a session with Meg. I just had my astrology analyzed, and it's changed my life. And so I really feel that complementary aspect to what we're doing. I just want to say that what I overall am feeling right now is that people are still feeling kind of tired, a little bit sort of at the end of their tether, and the energies have been very intense post this, the Pisces moon, the lunar eclipse, and I guess we're going to be talking about that more today. But I also feel like I'm amazed when I noticed what's happening with the conference, and how when we put out the survey for the conference, and I just can feel people's excitement that they want to connect.
Yes.
They want to connect in groups. They want to interact with the community. They want to meet in person. And I don't know, I just feel like there's something activated around us, moving, stretching out a little bit even beyond our online platforms, and starting to make connections. And to collaborate and do stuff together. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're bringing that up, because I almost actually forgot to bring that up in today's show. And it's one of the most exciting things we got going on. For those of you who haven't heard yet, is this upcoming Beyond Mystic conference that's going to be happening in March of next year, 2025. We still don't have the exact date set yet. I haven't talked to JC for a few days now, because I was actually not feeling well the past few days. So I'm a little bit out of the loop on this, but I do know that this is a go. This is happening for sure. And I think so many people actually filled in the survey. I don't know if you heard this, Ashala, but so many people filled in the survey that we need to do a bigger venue, actually.
That's what I heard. Yes. And to me, that just illustrates what I was saying, where I'm noticing that people are really ready to get together and to collaborate and share.
Yeah.
So this is very, very exciting to me.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm so happy you brought that up. I want to speak a bit more on that. So you guys go check out beyondmystic.net. You'll see right there the area where you can click on the conference tab and fill in the survey if you're seriously interested in coming. This is going to be a freaking blast because all our woo like-minded community, we're all going to be there. I think babies might be made there. I think soulmate relationships might be made. This is
wait till we have the exact date and you can cast the chart for that, Meg. It's going to be so exciting.
It's going to be so awesome. Going to be so great. And I love that you're bringing that up, ASHALA, on, in-person community, because this is something I always feel so strongly when I tune into, okay, what's going on with the world? What's unhealthy? What's wrong with how we're living? What's the root of it? And personally, one of the things that I always get very strongly, Hermano Branco says, lots of boom, boom, possibly. Yeah. Woo babies.
Woo babies.
Yeah, well, we do need to populate the planet. The rate is going down, but that's a whole other show. When I tune into why are we off balance? Why are so many people depressed and anxious? We no longer have, well, some places in the world do, but our Western kind of living, which most of our Beyond Mystic family is a part of that Western society. We don't have in-person communal living and culture, right?
Sure.
And if you think about it, like it was only up until a few hundred years ago where that was normal, where the community you lived in, everybody knew each other, everybody knew their neighbors, we knew the local healers, witch, doctor, everything like that. And that disconnection from no longer singing together, no longer praying together, no longer storytelling together, I think it's one of the biggest issues. Do you want to speak on that at all, ASHALA?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And, I feel like we almost had to grow really far out into individuation. I really feel like our spiritual evolution has required that we've become very individualistic for a period of time. We had to really learn to identify as sovereign individuals so that we had our own autonomy, our own freedom of speech, our own voice. And it goes to a point and then it goes overboard. It's too far. It's too much disconnect. It's too much individuation. And of course, we know the dark controlling forces have really designed and hijacked that to force even more splits and more divisiveness and more so that people are literally just so disconnected from nature and family and each other and relationships and everything. So I think it was a valuable experience and experiment for us to go through a lot of this individuation, and it's time that we take all that we've learned about how to be sovereign, how to be really, self-aware, self-responsible beings, and then reintegrate that into a new kind of relationship, a new kind of human family dynamic, a new kind of human community dynamic that is healthy, that isn't about power imbalance, isn't that power dominant model.
Yeah, like the circle, right? The community is the circle and equal. And I'm excited with the astrology because that's like Pluto in Aquarius that we're entering full on in November. Aquarius rules community and that circle kind of living and equality and fairness. So I think we're definitely headed that way. Would you want to maybe pull some cards, ASHALA, on this community living, importance of community moving forward into the future? Do you think that would be an interesting question to ask?
I believe that would be a very interesting question. And I'm curious to see what all of us together, when we put our energies together to pull cards on behalf of everyone present here right now, our entire community of viewers, it really just is so much more potent and I want to say inspirational than if I were to just do this by myself. So thank you. Thank you for your participation. So let's see what our community overall guidance system has to say about us coming together in new groups. Oh, yeah, we got the yes card. We got the yes card, and it's interesting. This card is associated with Libra, Meg, and I think you started mentioning something to me about Libra. Justice has got the Libra scales there.
Yeah.
And Libra is about, balancing the two sides. So in this case, it's the individual and the collective. It's the
Mhm.
inner realm and the outer realm. It's self and other. And it feels like we've really done a lot of work to come into a healthy individual self-awareness. And now it's a big yes. This is the yes card, Ace
Wow.
of Swords, to coming back into really intentional community. And this is something I've been passionate about for decades, is coming together purposefully. So let's look in the past. Yeah, this is almost more like, I want to say, Empress. She's the goddess, almost like Mother Nature, and she can represent a kind of almost hive mind where we were all one in the land with nature, with each other, and then we separated for a period of time. Wow, we separated in order to become strong and sovereign as individuals. Strength card is the next one here. And then, oh, the world, the world. So you were talking about coming back into the circle. And there it is right there, the circle.
Wow.
Yep,
Whoa.
exactly what you just said. So we started as a hive mind. We went into kind of sovereign individual, learning how to work within ourselves, with our own, our own balance and harmony within. And now we're ready to come out. And there she's holding those two rods, again, a symbol of balancing the two sides of the inner and the outer. So beautiful.
That is so beautiful. And that's a lot of major arcanas, right?
That is. Gosh, they're all major arcanas except for the one yes card.
Oh my goodness.
So when we have a lot of major arcanas, it's really about saying this is a big up-leveling opportunity. It's sort of like there's only 22 out of 78 cards that are major.
Right.
And they're major because they have a big potent influence. And so when a lot of them show up, it means this is going to be big. This is going to, this is going to be really important, very significant.
Yeah. So cool. Thank you for that.
And with that Ace of Swords, this is quite fast. This is not something that's going to take decades and eons. I feel like really even this year, it's a big invitation, a big yes. So perfect timing for our conference.
Perfect timing. Oh my God. We're just going to be talking about it the whole time before it comes up. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. The energy feels really, really good around it. And I think people will feel inspired too. Those who maybe never have intentional community or like-minded people in their lives. I feel like a lot of people will be inspired to bring that back to where they're from and create that.
Totally. Yes.
Right? So cool. So also, ASHALA, I wanted to ask you, because before we went live, we were talking a little bit about some of the new stuff that we're going to have coming up on Beyond Mystic in the near future. And you shared that you're working on a course right now that's going to be, is it going to come out this month or come out another month?
It's going to come out, as far as I know, on the 21st of October. So it'll be next month, just a few weeks away, not that far. And basically, it's a 4 modules on dowsing, and specifically with this level 1 course, pendulum dowsing. So it goes into everything from the history of dowsing, the different ways that we can use dowsing in our lives, how to become the instrument, really dowsing. When we use a pendulum or we use the rods, they are an extension of our own. We're like a natural antennae that
Mm,
perceive subtle changes in magnetic field energy. And we can develop that perception just like we develop intuition and the sixth sense.
yeah.
As we work with our pendulum, we can develop a strength to get more and more sensitive. And it's not about walking around and picking up on everything that's around you and being overwhelmed
Right.
psychically. It's about learning how to turn that on and off. So we really work on developing that discernment, that ability to say, okay, now I'm ready, I've set myself up, I've got my tool, I'm prepared, I'm inwardly prepared, and I'm
Mhm.
going to begin my dowsing practice. And when I'm done, I close that and I go back to my regular life and I'm not bombarded
Right.
constantly, right?
So cool.
Sometimes I think people feel like if they get into these things, if they start working with um, tarot, oracle cards, divination, pendulums, and dowsing and stuff like that, it's going to just overwhelm them and
Mm,
make them so sensitive that it's harder for them to, they may already feel really sensitive. And what I want to mention is that many of us who are awake and high frequency conscious beings are extremely sensitive. And it is so helpful to learn from people who've been doing this a long time, like myself and Janine, how to work with that sensitivity. And in my experience, once we give it a job and train it, how to, work with us and we employ it in this very, very beautiful, heart centered, power neutral way with
mhm.
intention, it actually helps us overcome that bombardment of hypersensitivity psychically.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That is really cool. And I always get questions about the dowsing. So I know so many people are going to be excited to take part in that new course. And you have a lot of cool new courses that are going to come out,
Oh,
but
I do.
we'll wait until
I,
closer to those times.
I was pretty excited when Jean Claude gave me the green light. I was like, okay, here we go. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wanted to ask you too, how have you been feeling with this eclipse season that we're in at the same time as a fall equinox?
You know, honestly, I have to say that this fall equinox has almost snuck up on me a bit, Meg. I felt like usually I'm like in the, I'm kind of getting ready. I'm like, oh yeah, here comes fall. Or I guess for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, it's like similarly, you're at that turn of the equinox, you're getting into the spring energy. And usually I feel like I can sense it coming and I'm kind of looking forward to the going within and all that. And this just felt really almost distorted to me. It was like, it's fall. No, it's not. The energy is really active. No, I'm inward. No, I'm outward. So, like a little bit chaotic for me personally. What about you? How was it for you?
Yeah, I've been kind of feeling the same a little bit all over the place because it just feels like there's so much going on.
Mhm.
And everyone I'm close to has so much going on. Most of the clients I talk to, it's like huge transformations and up levels that everybody's
Mhm.
going through. And, in the kind of weather, if you will, in the nature where I am right now in Southern Ontario, it's a longer lasting summer. So the leaves are kind of changing later than they normally would. It does feel like you were saying, it's like, I'm still extroverted in summer. No, I'm getting ready for spooky season and going within in my Scorpios. But it feels like where I am in Southern Ontario this week, there's been a little bit of a shift.
Okay.
Getting a little bit cooler, we're going into that fall. So I've been feeling that the past couple days. And I love the fall season. And I know we have many people that are viewers and friends in the Southern Hemisphere, where for you guys, you're entering the spring season.
Yes.
Right. But any kind of seasonal shift is a really big energy. And I do believe that it's a portal that we can actually work with. Right. And
Mhm.
the fall and spring are both that seasonal axis of cleansing and
Mhm.
renewal. So these are, in ancient traditions, actually the best times to be doing detoxes, to be doing cleanses. And I feel like that's a really good way to prepare our bodies for the upcoming winter in the Northern Hemisphere. When people's immune systems are going to be a little bit lower, we're going to be getting less light, is to cleanse and be physically prepared for that. And
Mhm.
I also just love the energy leading up to Samhain and Halloween when we're in that autumn. It's just spooky and, investigatory, if you will, investigative as we
Yeah.
get closer to Scorpio. So I love the energy of it so much. And I wanted to share with you guys, and also I want to ask you, Ashala, with the cards
Mhm.
in a couple minutes, the ingress chart of the fall
Mm.
season. So this chart is the exact moment of fall equinox, which was on September 22nd at 8:43 a.m. And whenever we have the start of a season, we can actually pull up that chart, because actually each of the seasons are the start of the cardinal signs in Western astrology, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Aries, 0 degrees of sun in Aries is the spring, 0 degrees of Cancer is the summer solstice, 0 degrees of Libra is the autumn equinox, and then 0 degrees of Capricorn, the winter solstice. So this is not a typical Libra season by any means, because
Mm.
that south node in Libra for the past over a year. And I know a lot of you guys know the south node, which is the lunar eclipse point, from our Earth's perspective, represents letting go, karma, release, right?
Mhm.
The past. And the sun, which represents our vitality and our consciousness and us, our life force, is conjunct the south node this Libra season. So Libra typically is one of those lighter signs in astrology, and it's typically one of those lighter astrological seasons. But having the sun conjunct the south node, this is a huge season of release.
Wow.
Huge.
Wow.
While at the same time having Pluto at the end of Capricorn, critical degrees, 29 degrees. So I'm seeing it a lot in my personal life with clients, Ashala, a lot of relationships coming to an end. Libra is our committed relationships, marriage, work,
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
that we have contracts with,
Yeah,
right? Our commitments in general. Have you been noticing that in your life, like big changes or releases in relationships or your commitments?
definitely. Definitely I have. Yeah. And interestingly, also preparing for new relationships and commitments. So it's this strange kind of transition point, I feel.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. And for a lot of people, what I'm noticing, and it makes sense with the astrology, because the South Node has a lot to do with our past lives, karma. This is a lot of karmic relationships that it may not feel easy to let
Mhm.
go, or these are karmic patterns or commitments that may not feel easy to let
Right,
go of,
right.
right? And Libra is such a beautiful sign, but one of the challenges with Libra, because it rules others, right? Libra is a sign that rules others. And the sun is actually in planetary dignity that we call at fall in Libra, because the sun represents self and our ego. Libra is others. So
Mm.
the challenge with Libra is, how much do we take on from others? And when do we start to say no and put the boundary up? Right. And that's something really I find important during these times, during shift, during
Mhm.
literal shifting of the astrological ages, into the age of Aquarius, us receiving higher frequencies from the central sun, from the photon band. It's like
Mhm.
activating everybody. And we're not here, in my personal feeling, we're not here to save anyone. We're here to live as that example to help
Mhm.
activate the planet, right?
Mhm.
But it can be challenging when there's maybe people around us that we do care about that are going through a very big, challenging time. Is there a way that you kind of, how do you navigate that, Ashala? Because you have such a loving, nurturing energy. I can imagine people must like flock to you whenever they have an issue going on. Does that ever overwhelm you? Do you ever have issues with
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting point you're making, this interface between self and other. And I have noticed that recently, that I'm struggling in a way I want to be understood better by others.
Right.
And it always comes back to the self, right? It's like, because, for example, as you say, yeah, lots of people flock to me, and it's really easy for me to overinvest myself in that way. Or the alternate is that I just hide away and be alone a lot and spend a lot of time in isolation.
Yeah.
And I really would prefer to have a more balanced, Libran kind of balanced energy with that. And what I'm noticing is that I struggle to be expressing myself seen and understood. And
Mm,
so I go back to, as often as I can, working with things like nonviolent communication skills. It sounds so cheesy in a way, and it's this old system that's been around forever. But what's beautiful about it is that it is about starting within yourself to recognize yourself, right? If you want to be seen, if you want to be understood by others, a beautiful place to start is yourself. Like, what am I feeling? What am I even feeling? Sometimes we can get overwhelmed or triggered by people. We don't even know what we're feeling. And
right.
so nonviolent communication training is like, what are you feeling? Sometimes I have to stop and go, calm down. What are you actually feeling? And
Yeah.
then what do you need?
Mm,
And usually it's something like not rocket science. It's usually, I need this and this, or I need to be heard in this way, or I need to be able to explain this particular thing. And if we can clarify for ourselves first, even just sometimes that knowledge is enough to kind of smooth the waters, and
mm,
people suddenly are listening better and and
yeah.
not overwhelming us. So that's something that I turn to.
So cool. And is that something that you learned in person, through books, online? How did you learn about that non?
I first time I ever learned it, gosh, it has to be. I don't even want to tell you how many years ago. It's decades. It's in the 30 plus years. I think it's been around a really long time. I think it was a mandatory workshop in some workplace that I was in a long, long time ago, and then I found it kind of interesting. I honestly feel like it's been around a long time, but it's actually really coming into a value at this moment, because
Mm,
I think it was just a certain kind of elite group of people that were super into relationship development that were working with it before. I feel like now we all need it. We all need this. So yeah, you can find nonviolent communication resources online. There's websites, and there's a lot of free resources because it has been around for such a long time. So there's training programs and books and yeah, all kinds of stuff.
amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Chrissy, hello, Nine Lives Energy says, haha, I need that training. LOL. No one likes the Aries blow up.
Right. I have an Aries moon, so I get it.
Yeah, we love our Aries out there. So
Yeah.
we're going to get into, we had so much fun last week doing readings for each of the four elemental groups in astrology based on what's going on. We're going to get into that. But before we do that, Ashala, could we do a card pull on kind of us as the collective going into this fall season, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, the spring season, and what's in store for us?
Absolutely. I'll pull 3 cards right now on that.
Cool.
Okay. Past or where we're at, where we're going. Very interesting. How we get there. Whoa, wow. Okay, so we could look at this. There's different ways to read a 3 card. You can go, there's a lot of ways actually. You can go past, present, future. You
Mhm.
can go where I am or where we are, where we're going, how we get there. That's another way to read it. And so two cups cards that are minor arcana, but they're kind of back to back. We've got the 5 of cups and the 4 of cups, and then the high priestess as sort of like where we're going, outcome, how we get there.
Right.
5 of cups, it's what you were talking about, Meg. It is the release. It's like the grieving process. You notice there's these spilled cups here. This person is looking like sorrowfully at the past, and it's quite easy when we're in the 5 of cups to get into feeling a bit sorry for ourselves. It's a little bit like being downcast and fixated on the cup is empty. So that is where we're at or where we've been. And then where we're going or where we are right now, 4 of cups. So it's a little bit of it's interesting because it's the card before the 5, but it feels like that has to do with going back and reviewing things, reviewing the past. It's, when I see this card, it is a little bit like emotional protection. The guy has his arms crossed. That's body language for, yeah, I see you're offering me this nice, beautiful cup, but I don't know. I don't feel very open to it right now. I'm kind of like feeling a bit sorry for myself. And I often say with this card that it's okay. Just wait a little bit because we're feeling vulnerable. This is a lot about what other people are bringing to you. What I've been getting in my personal readings and my personal forecasts and stuff is a lot of energy where we all want to give something beautiful, but we're not so open to receiving right now. It's really an interesting thing. I don't know if you've noticed that, Meg, but it's like we're all feeling like, here, I'd like to offer this. And a lot of people are going, no, I don't want it. Or I don't know. I don't feel like I can open to that. Right. So how we're getting there, how this is getting integrated is almost on the deep subconscious level. And it feels like what we're doing is we're moving out of the old system of black and white thinking. We're moving out of the old system of, basically taking everything at face value. We're really tuning in with discernment and almost psychically sensing where other people are at. And so it's a very, there's a lot, as you said, there's a lot about maybe not quite trusting relationships and having to kind of just sort of stay in your inner realm a little bit longer.
Right.
And practice discernment, really tune into your intuition, maybe hold off with your judgments or your commitments and just observe a little while longer. The final thing about this priestess is she connects to our dreams. So Pisces, right. She also connects to our ancestors. So we're getting, and off-worlders, Janine talks about her being connected to the interdimensional. So, and secrets. So we're getting a lot of, I want to say, inner guidance. And we may be feeling a little bit protective.
Right. Wow, that's a pretty powerful spread.
It is. I mean, it feels like it's in alignment with what you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely. There's still things that were, oh, sorry.
Yeah, when you were saying that all this releasing, all the cleansing, and that, with this card, it's kind of like it's okay to just take it slow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I find, I don't know if this resonates with anybody else out there, but I find that I've been really enjoying being busy lately. I got my moon in Capricorn, so I love to be busy. I love to be working, but I find we've been through so much in our kind of freedom, spiritual, conscious community in the past few years. There's been a lot of trauma. There's been a lot of difficulty and a lot of challenge. And when you go out of that card, Exactly. And that's the 5 of Cups, right, Ashala?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
When you step out of the doing all the time and into the receiving,
Mm-hmm.
the relaxation, that's when we really realize what we're holding physically, emotionally, and our shit can kind of come up to the surface. So I don't know if that has anything to do for a lot of us of why we're maybe a little bit resistant of, okay, don't want to go there right now, because there's still a lot that we're needing to do. There's still a lot of moving ahead and having to work and having our lives and paying attention to everything that's going on. But it seems like in the cards, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like it's saying, no, there's really conscious work we actually can be doing or should be doing this season.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And it does feel like a lot of it is inside still a little longer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So, okay, so that's for the collective. And now we're going to get into, this is a fun part. I always love doing this. Now we're going to get into some readings for each of the signs, and we're going to do it not all 12 astrological signs, but by the 4 elemental groups. Okay, so earth signs, fire signs, air signs, water signs, those groups on us entering this new seasonal shift, this new season, whether you're in the autumn, whether you're in the spring, southern or northern hemisphere. And so I have slides for each of the sign groups, but first we'll do the cards before we even see what's going on. And let's start with the fire signs.
Okay, fire signs. Here we go. And remind us, Meg, what are the fire signs?
The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And I'll put that, I'll also highlight a comment with the...
So fire signs this week. We start off with the little page of fire. He's a bit mischievous, this page of fire. He's super playful. We call him the activator. He's kind of like the one that lights the match, lights the fuse. So off to a good start. And oh, look at this. Another playful, really sweet, innocent, childlike card. This is a lot about sharing, like generosity in the emotional realm. There could be a bit of nostalgia this week. And let's see the last one for the fire signs, the yes card. Wow. Oh, you lucky ducks. Oh, this is great. Really, really sweet. So, both the yes card and the page of wands are super activating. So, kind of a bit of a lead the charge here, fire signs. Interesting.
That's very interesting. They're like, feels like on a quest or on a bold journey of some sort.
On a bold journey, and yet it's like very coming from the heart. I think about Leo, which is kind of like the middle of the 3 fire signs, right? And I think about that heart-centered warmth. And this is a lovely, lovely card. And it also relates to children, actual children. So there could be something around connecting with children in your environment this week, about play, about coming into that frequency of children and really leading, but also receiving some insight. That's receiving nice. Some direction from that.
Cool. Amazing. Thank you for that, Ashala. And in the astrology, we've got for this week and fall season ahead for the fire signs, you guys are having the transit sun in Libra and also the sun conjunct south node in Libra that I was talking about happen in the air elemental houses. And the air houses represent our relationships, our sociability, and learning new information. So for Aries, you're having this sun in Libra in your 7th house, also with the sun conjunct south node. Leo, it's in the 3rd house, and Sag, this is the 11th house. So you know, that's interesting because it's making me feel like with the cards that you got, Ashala, that there is a letting go in this season, in this time. But it feels like with the fire signs, you guys aren't a heavy sign to begin with. You know, you guys are about fun and play, and you guys can really naturally feel if someone's been weighing you down. I noticed that with the Aries and the Leos in particular, that if they ever feel weighed down by a relationship, by a person, by a situation, they notice it and they usually cut it out pretty fast. But I'm hearing spirit say, like, pay attention, fire signs, to who weighs you down and who brings you up. Okay. This is all about your relationships right now, this season. And there can be major endings. There can be, maybe for the Aries, some breakups going on. You know, for the Saggies and the Leos, some friendships kind of coming to a close, possibly. But as doors close, new ones open. Okay. So remember that, fire signs. And I feel like you have the really good intuitive sense of, fire signs are very in the present moment, and they're all about fun and play, and they know what feels good for them. So I'm just getting really strong, like, be honest with yourself of who feels good to you, what feels good to you. And if something is always challenging, fire signs, like, spirit is showing me a few years ago, I had this friendship with a lovely fellow lady, but it just wasn't working. There was always issues between us. It was like we were being weighed down. There was always an issue going on. And then finally we actually said to each other, okay, this friendship isn't working. For whatever reason, this just isn't working because we're being triggered by each other. It's just weird, right? And I'm feeling to say that, fire signs, because if you're having anything like that happen, maybe time to just let it go. And there's so many different people on this planet, you know, as we were talking about with the Beyond Mystic conference coming up, like, there's so many like-minded people too. The times are changing, that it feels like new relationships are coming forward when you let go of some of the old ones that may not serve, some of the old, even commitments too. Libra can be commitments that we've told ourselves. It lets open fresh new energy. So hope that makes sense for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it just feels like they're so in a leader role, in an activator role. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Next, we're going to go to the earth signs.
You can just feel the energy so much heavier.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is a lovely, lovely start. So, strength. You know, a major arcana here. So we didn't have the major arcana with the fire signs. We're starting off with a major arcana, which is a lot about working with your instincts. Strength is about working with your instincts. It has a lot to do with, you know, if we want to tame the world around us, if we want control out there, and I do think that earth signs kind of like to be in control of it, right? It's really, the mastery is inwardly. So we train ourselves so that we are so, I want to say, resilient and strong and adaptable. And this serves the earth signs very, very well this fall season or spring season down in the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, and now we have Page of Swords. So perhaps there's some learning new skills, because the Page of Swords is an idea card. It's a message card. And I just am noticing that he's kind of gazing over here at the strength. And so, yeah, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn getting a message to perhaps learn, study a little bit about how to master their own energy.
Wow.
So self-mastery, perhaps a little bit of study around that. And let's see the final card, exploration. Exploration. So you know, not dwelling in the past, as Meg was saying, you know, the past is kind of clearing itself. It's almost like as you master your own energy impulses, um, it feels like a lot of that past energy is just clearing by itself, just naturally. And then I would say by the end of the fall or this particular season, we're looking at new horizons. This is the Explorer card.
Mm.
So new horizons for our earth signs by that third month.
Mm. Wow. That is so interesting and ties in exactly with the astrology, Ashala.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Usually, that strength card, the earth signs are having the transit sun in Libra and the sun conjunct south node in Libra happening for them this season in the earth elemental houses. So their sign houses, which is all about their value, their strength. We got the strength card, what they have to offer. So, yeah, you guys, Tauruses, Virgos, and Capricorns, you're being activated into your own element and really believing in yourself. Like, right, that strength card feels very, very important. And that's something that I've personally been noticing, Ashala, is lately the importance of the earth signs, the importance of the earth element, what Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn have to offer, right? Sometimes in astrology and the woo-woo, sometimes we make fun of the earth signs because it's like, okay, they're the most grounded and they can be the most tied to the material and the 3D. And we want to go up here. We want to be with the aliens and in the 5D. But the truth is, you guys, and I've been seeing this as a huge theme, and I'd love to ask your take on this in a moment, Ashala. If you are not grounded, right? If you don't have that healthy Taurus side of yourself, which is our values, Virgo side of yourself, which is your routines, and Capricorn side of yourself, which is your goals and your legacy and your work. If you are not grounded, you cannot manifest anything.
Yeah.
You cannot be intuitive. You can't even be doing the spiritual. It's as above, so below. But the name of our show, right? If you do not honor the physical body, the groundedness of life, right? So Joe says the root. Yes, the root chakra. None of it is even real. We're not even, in the woo, if you will. So earth signs, you are of value. Okay. And this fall season ahead, for the whole next, 3 months of this fall season ahead, it's about owning your value and being in your strength, because we need your energy right now, actually. Because with Neptune and Pisces, there's a lot of illusions, there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of deception. And you guys help us hold it down. And by you being in your value, in your strength, in your gifts, this is also the work houses, the material resource houses. Some of you may be having big job changes or income changes where you're doing more of what you actually love to do and what your passions are. By you doing that in a grounded and responsible way, which is your gift, it inspires the rest of us to do that.
Totally. Well, and even just thinking about that in terms of the earth energy for the next 3 months and how, we are developing and grounding deeper into our strengths, into our gifts. Yeah. And there will be opportunity to expand on those, but we have to start by really building within ourselves first.
Yeah. Love it. That's awesome. We got some earth signs in the comments. I'm awake 1973. I love your name. Says, thank you, ladies. I'm a triple Taurus and very grounded. And, that's also like being here on Mother Earth, which is so beautiful. Something I've learned on my spiritual journey, which when I really started it, it was just, I'm not even this body and I just want to ascend and blah, blah. It's like, no, actually one of the most spiritual things is to be very grounded and in the present moment with nature and with what is. It's a gift to be here, and we're not always in the physical bodies, right? So it's so cool that we've got some major earth signs in the chat. So, okay, now we're going to move to our water signs. Sorry, our air signs.
Oh, air signs next. Okay, air signs. And the 3 air signs.
Yes, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
Mhm. All right, here we go, air signs.
Cool.
What do you need to know? Aha, the patriarch starts us off. Stability, grounding, interesting. Also a little bit of protection and working with our, I want to say, our relationship to power and to authority and dominance. So this is not a small not a small lightweight thing to start off with, but let's see how he's aspected. Oh, okay, love it. So that patriarchal authority, protection, structure is, and developing our strength and power, very similar to the last one we were looking at, heading into sovereignty with our own material resources. So this is grounding into self-actualization in the material realm. It is also about self-care. It's also about looking after our physical selves, our physical bodies, healthy practices, healthy lifestyle. And let's see the final card. Oh, wow. Okay. So I think for us air signs, and I speak as one of them, there's going to be a lot of swirling, tempting information and overload in the mental realm. It's almost like the guides are saying this is a crescendo of just like a cacophony of mental downloads, right? There's just going to be so much stuff. And so it'll be very easy for us to get distracted and overwhelmed because we take on a lot of that energy. So staying especially really grounded and almost a bit, I want to say, protective of our our stability, our practical stability, our routines, our health, and all of those kinds of things.
Wow, interesting. There's a lot of powerful cards coming in all the polls, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Definitely.
So and interesting, it's like that very strong masculine, like you said, and also the feminine. Is that the Queen of Pentacles?
This is the Queen of Pentacles. So, they're not that far removed, really. Like the Emperor is very akin to the King of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is very akin to the Empress. So it's, well, I'm going to venture a little and say this is like perhaps a bit of work with our relationships to our fathers as well for us air signs. And something about, I just keep hearing practical, resource-based upgrades, and we will need to really guard against falling out of sync. Because this card it's related to addictions, it's related to mental health, it's related to illusion. It's very Piscean kind of energy. And with the air signs being, the repository of so much data and information, it does feel like it could be a bit of an overload for us this season. So really focusing on grounding, practical, earth-based aspects, basically.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That makes a lot of sense because our lovely air signs are having the Libra season, the fall, activate in their fire houses. So, these are the houses of energy, passion, fun, and extroversion. So it makes sense what you're saying, ASHALA. It's like there could be some things going on that are maybe temptations coming forward with that. Is that the Six of Cups?
Seven of Cups.
The Seven of Cups, yeah. There's fun going on. There's excitement going on, but these are really critical times, right? Where we need to be paying attention to what's going on. And like ASHALA said so eloquently, you know, I love the air signs, but it can be one of those signs that they can be a little bit all over the place or get thrown in different directions, right? Because you guys love information and being social and usually extroverted, usually unless something is counteracting that in the chart. So really honing in on, you know, the fire energy of your passions, and are you putting energy towards putting your passions out in a directed way, or is it that shadow side of the fire, like you were saying, the addictions, just having fun for the sake of it and partying and maybe even a little escapism going on, right? So where air signs, if you are you maybe going into escapism? Where do we need to get grounded into focusing our energy and directing that, right? I think it's interesting. Geminis are having the transit Sun in Libra in their 5th house. Libras are having it in their 1st house. Libras are just getting so activated right now with all of the astrology. And Aries in their 9th house. So that's the element of fun and play and energy. It's also the element of, you know, one of the elements of learning. So where are you putting your energy? I'm hearing Spirit say that. And is that going in a detrimental kind of place, possibly? Cups, or is that going in a place where it's creating even more energy? It's creating even more opportunity moving forward.
So, I mean, you know, I think about the fire. Well, the fire energy in the tarot is a little bit of a kind of conflictual energy too. It's like the tension, right? The tension. And when I see that emperor, he often relates to issues of power. So something about this activation in the fire element is creating maybe a bit of tension or power dynamics for the air signs, and that we need to stay very in our own lane, stay very grounded, not get into those power dynamics. And yeah, I mean, you know, if you're using that frequency of spirit and activation, if we channel it into the material realm, that could be a very great, like you were saying, you know, healthy practices, healthy practical achievements, successes, working in the monetary realm, in the physical realm. That would be a great way to ground that fire energy and make something of it, as opposed to it just spinning off.
Yeah, totally. Okay, that's it for the air signs. And now, last but not least, we're going to go to my fellow water signs. Yeah,
Definitely. It's always so interesting, isn't it? You
it
just don't
is.
know what's going to come through. Some really lovely cards peeking out here so far.
And let us know in the comments, you guys, if these readings are resonating. We do have some people saying they're resonating, so thanks for that.
So we have, again, that information idea card, that little Page of Swords, a new idea, some information. Look at this, another page. Oh my goodness. Page of Pentacles, which is a lot about health, lifestyle. This is my lifestyle card in the whole tarot. Okay, so pages are the children of the tarot, and we have 4 of them. We have in the tarot 16 court characters. So there's 4 pages, 4 knights, 4 queens, and 4 kings. That makes the total of 16, and they're 1 in each of the 4 signs, right? Well, the pages, when you see a lot of pages in someone's spread, it means that they're about to kind of have this renewal, to start fresh, to start something almost like beginner mind, starting from a new beginning. And so far, it's new ideas and new physical habits that
Mm.
we're looking at. So let's see the last one. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. This is, random acts of kindness, the Knight of Cups. So,
Wow.
really, the sweetness of our water signs. And, by the end of this 3 months, they're having some kind of a renewal here. And they're going to be able to really lead with their heart by the end of this season. In a way, kind of directing us all, I want to say, into the new heart frequencies. So they're going to be the bearers of this new energy of the wisdom of the heart.
Wow.
And it's coming from this very, like, sometimes people go, oh, pages, like, gosh, I just feel like maybe I'm naive or I'm too much like a little kid. And I'm always like, are you kidding? It's like the page is the best in a way. I feel like it's the best card because it's all about you get to turn over a new leaf. You get to start and then you get to lead from your heart. I mean, wow.
That's making me excited as a Scorpio.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Amazing. So cool. So yeah, for the water signs, it's interesting. Similar to the earth signs a bit. They're having this Libra Sun conjunct South Node, which is something we're working with for this whole fall season in the next 3 months ahead, happen in water elemental houses. So our home houses.
Right. So
Yeah.
that Prince of Water there.
Yeah, so cool. And you were talking, Ashal, about a renewal. By the end of this fall season, there will be a renewal for the water signs. And the water houses are about healing, right? And when we do healing, when we go through the healing journey, we get renewed by the end of it, right? So Cancers are having their 4th house activated by the Libra Sun, Scorpios are having the 12th house, and Pisces the 8th house. So this is for the water signs, can be a lot of deep emotional healing coming forward, some intense emotions. I've definitely been having that ever since the Sun went into Libra. I won't go into too many personal details, but some really big emotions, some very big things kind of blow up in my family. And I was crying about it. And I'm not a huge crier. I got my moon in Capricorn. So, but there was definitely real deal, deep stuff coming up for me as a water sign. And I've been noticing for other water signs as well, we're processing a lot emotionally. And those water houses are also like our family, the past, nostalgia, also the houses where we store trauma from the past too. So some of that can be coming up. I think for the water signs, it's a really good season for us to be doing, whether it's therapy or any kind of healing art. Because I think that just that word you said, Ashala, renewal is afoot for us.
Renewal is afoot. And, it might be surprising to you water signs because you are so used to being very deep. And, this is almost more like air sign approach, right? And in a way, the air signs have got this, oh no, we got to be very serious. And the water signs are being shown, it's not about like, don't be serious, but don't expect that it will have to be as deep and I want to say maybe challenging as it usually is, because it's almost like I feel what I was getting is the fire and water signs are a little bit ahead right now for some reason. It's almost like they're on the tip of the new, and us earth and air signs are, we're balancing out, right? It's not, we can't all be on the crest of the wave. But this really does feel, talking about waves and water, this does feel like the water signs are on the crest of something new. And so my only, suggestion was it would be that you as water signs would maybe just imagine a lightness of being, that you're coming into this childlike approach. And even though you can be working with really deep, potent,
Mm,
strong emotion, it might be feeling in a way like much easier to navigate and almost childlike in how it moves through you at this time.
mm. So cool. Thank you, Ashala. And thank you
You're
so much,
welcome.
everyone, for joining us. We're at an hour and 5 minutes, so we're at the hour mark. And another really enjoyable show. So excited that we're doing this new show. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in with us live. Chrissy says, I love this new show format. Radiant One says, you two women together is magical. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Amori says, wow, needed to hear this. Working hard. Love, love.
Love, love.
Wonderful. And yes, we do love the astrology and tarot together. So powerful to do the astrology and the tarot together. So before we finish up this week's As Above, So Below episode, we want to mention coming up very soon, my husband Jens is going to start leading this 30-day meditation challenge over on the Beyond Mystic Academy. And it's going to be starting on the new moon solar eclipse, October 2nd, going for 30 straight days until November 1st. And we're so excited about this. I feel like this is going to be very helpful and healing for a lot of us, no matter what sign you are. And Jens is a great meditation teacher and guide. And this meditation challenge is to help us during these times of transitions to relax, to process and navigate what we're going through during the fall season with some of the very intense energies coming from space, if you will. And it's on a sliding donation scale of $17 US, very affordable, all the way to $177, whatever you feel comfortable with donating to take part. So you can go check that out on the beyondmystic.academy. And again, Ashala's amazing not psycho, oh my God.
Psychic tarot.
Psychic tarot readings are available at the link in the description below at consultations.beyondmystic.net, as well as my astrology readings. And please remember, you guys, to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. And we'll see you guys next week. We love you all very much. Mwah!
Bye for now. Blessings, everyone.
Bless.